Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for today's webinar. We are so pleased to be able to walk you through an overview of the Master of Science and Interdisciplinary Studies program here at Baylor University. My name is Zach Winterroad. I am the Recruitment and Alumni Services Coordinator for the Garland School at Baylor, and I am joined today by Dr. Kristen Argueta, Program Director and Clinical Associate Professor. Today, we are going to be looking at this program. We are going to be talking about this Master of Science and Interdisciplinary Studies degree. We're going to be paying special attention to the program structure, format, and curriculum. We're going to look at the way the program encourages you to bring your faith and values into your coursework and preparation. We're going to talk about what it looks like to study online in this very unique program here at Baylor. And then we're going to spend some time looking at the admissions policies and application requirements, and we will show you some financial aid resources as well. And then we are going to open the floor for questions at the very end of the presentation. And now I'm going to be handing the microphone over to Dr. Argueta, who's going to be giving us kind of an overview of the program.
Yeah, thank you, Zach. I appreciate your kind of heading this up for us and letting us speak about this really exciting new offering that we have at the Garland School, but that's been about a year and a half old here at Baylor, but an offering that we are seeing growing throughout the nation. So we are really excited to provide Baylor applicants, Baylor interested parties, a venue and an offering to be able to think about what it looks like to truly pick and map your own degree plan when you think about a graduate studies program. So we know that people who are really thinking about, I know I'm being pushed in society today, we're pushed for a graduate degree. What does that look like? What does it mean? How do I know when I have the right fit? And for some of our applicants, they know they have the right fit because they're in a position or are very sure about a position that they are wanting to get into. They feel incredibly confident and secure either, and they're like, I'm in a role that I like, but there's a higher role that maybe a promotional opportunity that I'm interested in, but I need some, it's a master's preferred, or I need some experience in areas that would be helpful. But they can see beyond, and we are seeing students in general across the United States seeing beyond a singular focused area of study. Really, what does it look like for me to know that I need to pick and choose differing topics that are going to support me in reaching my professional goals? And so that is what the MS-IDS provides, an ability for students to really create an area of higher education, an area of study, a graduate degree that is handpicked for them to be able to meet the needs that they have to get to their career goals. In our program, one of the kind of exciting things that differentiates us from any other, or not from any other, but from a vast majority of IDS programs throughout the United States, is that we are a Master's of Science, which does show a true empirical base to our studying. And what does it look like to be a Master's of Science versus the Master's of Arts, or an MA in IDS? We are an MS-IDS, which kind of has that further research-based component that can be really assistive when we look at students who are interested in getting that grounded, empirical, foundational learning as part of their graduate degree. So our program, as I've noted, has opportunity for us to really meet with students, get to know them. We are very lucky that we have student support and advising opportunities that really get entrenched with our ability to know our students and say to them right at the onset, at the application and admissions process, tell me what you want to do. What is it that you're interested in this career? What is it you're here for? What are the outcomes you're looking for? And then what we do is really cater the interests of our applicants or students and say, okay, well, if you're wanting these skills and this is what you're wanting to present to your employer or you're wanting to present as your knowledge base for graduate studies, then let's think about these classes and how that might fit in to help you achieve what you're wanting to achieve. So in that, we do have a very short, or it's an expedited master's. So where a typical master's program can be anywhere from about 58 to 60 credit hours, our credit hours are 30 credit hours, but specified into the student's interest area within our curricular offerings. So it's roughly 30 credit hours, the maximum of 42 credit hours. And one of the things that we really appreciate is being able to note and celebrate students who have had other higher education or graduate credits in different schools. So if you've gotten a different graduate degree, what we can do is say, okay, let us look at those credits that you've already earned and see if we can apply some of that. We can take up to 50% or 15 credit hours of your previous experience into consideration for this master's program, which would even expedite the degree a little bit further. Now, that's not required or necessary. It's just a great opportunity for those students who've had this in the past. For those students who are saying, this is my first master's degree and I just really want to get something catered to what I'm interested in, then we say, great, let's do it. Let's create a plan of study that feels right for you. The tuition rate for our program is $1,100 per credit hour. And then we do allow students to enter into the program in each of our trimesters. So we have a spring class that comes in, a summer class that comes in, and a fall class that comes in, giving you really the ability to join us at any point that you might be interested in or a point that feels right to you. But it also provides some flexibility. So if at sometimes you're thinking, I have a little bit more time in the summer to take a few extra hours, we think, great, let's add a little bit more class time there because our classes are offered in all 3 terms. Or, hey, I need to roll back and kind of have some space for a second while we're going through this fall because of some family needs or some work responsibility. And we can say, okay, no problem. We can pull back a little and work with students, again, to meet that curricular need term to term. Our classes are available from 3 different schools here within Baylor. We have the School of Business, the School of Education, and Social Work. And I'm sorry, I'm wrong. It's 4 different schools: School of Business, School of Education, School of Social Work, and our Health and Human Services, because we do have medical sciences courses that we're offering as well. Next slide, please, Zach. All right, so let's talk a little bit about our curriculum, because I've talked about how you get to cater it to something you are interested in, something you love. So Zach has done an awesome job at putting together for us kind of just a snippet of some of the course offerings that are available, just to see if any of this might pique your interest as a student who's interested in our program. But just so you can see, the School of Business offers things like economics for tools of management, strategic brand management. That's a really popular class. But one that's really popular is they have a negotiations class. And we've had several people come to us and say, you know what, I really want this negotiations class, because in any type of working environment, what we found is that working with colleagues, working with our bosses, working in different scenarios requires me to have an ability to negotiate my terms or negotiate what I'm wanting to get or my outcomes that I'm wanting to get out of conversations. And the feedback we've gotten from our students who are progressing through the program is that it has been one of the most helpful classes in both negotiating in their professional world, but also in their private world, which I think is great. So that's been a very, very popular class within the School of Business. In the Garland School, we have courses such as organizational leadership and management, human theory, and dealing with kind of people and their environment. But we have courses across our curriculum in the Garland School, which has been really exciting. We've had students who have been typical business majors that have had their bachelor's in business, or even have brought in some transfer credits from having a graduate business degree, and have said, you know, I really loved getting a little bit of extra finesse in the business area, but I really like pairing it with social work, because as much as we learn about business dynamics and the thought about how to progress and evaluate business practices, one of the things that we don't always touch on is the human approach and how much it takes to really consider things holistically and to really kind of dig in deeper to rationales to why business decisions are made based on that human approach. So the Garland School classes, the social work classes, have been very popular within this degree, just to get a little bit of a perspective that is richer, bringing that human side in. So you get to choose from a bevy of our classes here within the social work degree. The School of Education has several great courses that are focused on learning and learning design, really kind of digging deeper into what it is to consider how we learn, what are some things that how we want to present information so that we can show our individuals we are working with, whether that be clients or our colleagues, help them see where we're going when we're presenting information and assist them in learning and solidifying that information for themselves. So they have courses like psychology of learning, and then they also have data-driven decision making. That's a very popular course because it really assists in how you present information and how then that becomes receptive to others. And then the Robbins College of Health and Human Sciences, they have wonderful classes in health industry, health disparities for us to, again, to get a little bit more of that human approach in that medical sciences mindset. And then medical ethics from a Christian perspective. We've had some students who are incredibly interested in getting more of a medical model approach to their IDS degree. And so these have been some of the classes that have helped them gain that additional knowledge they needed in order to get a position within their current work environment. One of the things that's really important to Baylor in general, and I think one of our beautiful differentiators, is that we are really looking at students holistically, but we also look at students or at client perspectives and how students interact with their clients and colleagues, their individuals that they're working with day in and day out, whether that be their stakeholders or whatever that might look like. We know that they need to be looked at holistically as well. And so Baylor in general brings the ability for us to consider and be informed by our faith and our value system. What does that look like for us here as we're presenting this degree? It looks like your ability as a prospective student to really think about how your faith drives you, how it affects you and your interactions with others, how it affects your ability to commit to your work and your work ethic, how it affects your ability to really be a part of your community and where you want to make impact and effort into that community. It also kind of gives us that pause in saying, well, each class that we're going to get in is going to touch in some form or fashion on how I am going to present myself. And I know that part of that self is how I identify with my faith. And how those perspectives really shape me and how I am internalizing this knowledge that's being brought to me. It also helps us to think about recognizing the value of our perspectives in our professional settings. So, does it shift the way we react or act to others or with others when we are in a professional context? Absolutely. We know our faith is a huge driver of those things. And so we want you to understand that when you're getting a degree with us, no matter what school you are taking your classes in during that term, or if you're taking it in varied programs with us, that you're going to have a perspective where they're going to encourage you to look at yourself in a holistic manner, to consider your faith and how that motivates you, but also consider how you can work ethically with others that you come in contact with, and be someone who can holistically steer and provide people comfort, provide people data, provide people information in ways that will show recognition of an appreciation for who we all are as people. And so I think that's one of our differentiators here at Baylor, is that we hold that dear. We want you to be able to look at that and not ignore that part of yourself, but we also want you to be able to see that part in the people that you're working with. The value of getting your MS-IDS here at Baylor is that we do most of our learning online. Um, so we want to present to you that depending on the program that you take courses in, our classes are offered in a variety of different contexts. So you will have some classes that are fully online that, for instance, our business school classes are offered fully asynchronously. You have faculty that walk side by side with you during those classes, but they are fully asynchronous. You will be identifying and doing asynchronous work, meaning doing it on your own. You'll be interacting with discussion boards, interacting with video prompts, watching and reading, and then taking tests and quizzes to that effect. But you won't be sitting necessarily through a live lecture when you're taking classes in that program. Now that differs a little bit from if you're taking classes in the Garland School of Social Work. The Garland School, we offer our courses in the evenings, but half of those courses or half of the credit hours are done asynchronously, meaning if it's a 3-hour course credit, an hour and a half of that will be done asynchronously. You will go online in your own time prior to your class time and sit there and engage with the material, read your texts, watch lectures, view discussion boards, do activities, and then you're going to bring all that wealth of knowledge into an synchronous class session where you'll be just like we are today. And you would have to watch me go, I get to be one of the faculty members that get really passionate about an area of social work that I think is so important. And you would be a part of that and listening to that and diving deeper and really solidifying that knowledge and asking the questions and living into the tension of what does this mean for me and how will this affect the people I seek to serve in my practice. And so we would really dig into that and help you have an individual experience, which we know every student must have, in really gaining this material. So those are half asynchronous, or what we call hybrid, and half like this, where we actually meet as a class. But note that although you might have differing styles or differing types of class offerings, which again, as part of your advisement time with us, you would say, hey, this term is not great for a live session. And I would say, okay, then let's think about what we can do that's offered asynchronously. Or, hey, this term, I really do have time and I want to dig deep into this. And we'd say, okay, well, sounds like you might have some time for a live session course. How does that feel in this term? So we would be able to talk to you and really create an environment that feels right to you. But part of that is our ability for you to have personal support. Everywhere from an advisor as you're registering to somebody who is there and checks in with you from the moment you're admitted into our program all the way through the time when you cross that stage. So someone that just checks in on you every month or so and says, hey, you might not need anything, but how are you doing? Is there anything we could do to support you? Do you need any extra resources? Or, hey, how are things going? Do you just need a check-in? You have somebody there who wants to be part of that journey with you, so that you have a consistent presence. Because as you move from class to class and program to program, it can feel like you may want something that feels more constant. And so that is what we seek to provide. We also obviously provide a bevy of tech support because we know that although we think and want, and we hope that everyone, we think, oh, are we all technologically savvy? I think I am. And then I find out very quickly on any given webinar that I'm not as tech savvy as I want to be. So I think that one of the things that really helps us is noting as you're going from program to program and through differing expectations, you have tech support there to walk you through, okay, here's what your Canvas pages were going to look like. Here's what we need to do. Hey, I'm having this glitch. No problem. Let's look at it through this way. So you do have tech support that's there through a helpline that is from Baylor, but also 24/7 through our Canvas helpline as well. Another beautiful thing about taking classes with us through the IDS is that you do have high touch, very intentional faculty. So even though some of our classes are fully asynchronous, you have faculty who want to know that you're okay. Before you join any classes, I write them an email and say, hey, this student is joining you this term. They are not a business school student. They are an IDS student. Please let me know if you need anything. And they'll say, they're doing great. Or I'm so excited about their progress. Or, hey, they're an excellent student. Please, so they're giving you positive feedback. They're also touching base with us because we want to ensure that you feel supported and that you can feel like you can be as successful as you want to be within this program. Additionally, on the classes where we are synchronous, we keep our class sizes relatively small. And so what that looks like is we get that opportunity to get to know you as a student. What are the ways that you learn best? What are the things that you need to know and learn from the program so that we can really help flourish that learning and assist you in gaining those goals? So we are high touch, maybe sometimes to a fault. I don't know if that can be the case, but we are high touch and do take value in learning our students and knowing our students, which means if you're having an off day in one of our asynchronous classes and we look over and we say, are you doing all right? It's absolutely because we are wanting to make sure you're all right and we want to support you. We get to know you that well. All right, that seems to be the biggest part of me. Zach, I'm going to pass it back over to you, and I'm happy to answer questions at the end as well.
Thank you so much, Dr. Argueta. Now we're going to take a look at some of our application policies and requirements. To be eligible for the IDS program, applicants need to hold a completed bachelor's degree. This can be a bachelor's degree in any field, but also hold a cumulative GPA of 3.0. Those are the admissions policies to qualify. Applying the application is it's pretty simple and very accessible. A completed application looks like filling out all your information online through the application form. It looks like uploading your unofficial transcript that shows your conferred undergraduate degree. We want to note, though, if you can apply with your unofficial transcript, but if you are admitted in order to enroll in the program, we do require your official document, so that will need to be taken care of at that point. We also require a personal statement. This is going to be a 2 to 5 page kind of written piece where you can introduce yourself and your educational goals and career goals as well. We also require a resume. This is an opportunity for you to showcase your academic and professional and extracurricular experiences and achievements. And then lastly, we require 2 letters of recommendation. And we ask that one of those come from a previous faculty member, a professor, a teacher in higher education who can attest to your academic ability and achievement. Next, we're going to look at some financial aid resources. For this program, there is currently no internal scholarships or tuition remission. However, we wanted to provide this list of resources that are available to you to help you locate and apply for external scholarships and federal financial aid. You're welcome to take a picture or screenshot of this slide. First, we've got Baylor One Stop. That is Baylor University's financial services team that can help answer all of your questions regarding scholarships, financial aid, your bills, anything that has to do with money. While you are a student at Baylor, One Stop can help you out with that. One Stop also provides a great tool called Scholarship Universe, which is an extensive database of external scholarships for students where you can explore and apply and find plenty of opportunities for additional funding. GradSense is an outside resource developed by the Council of Graduate Schools that really is kind of a tool that helps students understand and prepare for the cost of graduate education. And then lastly, the National Association of Independent Colleges and Universities has recently published a great resource in their frequently asked questions, exploring and explaining the many nuanced ways that federal policy is currently impacting federal student aid opportunities. Okay, now we're going to look at the deadlines for upcoming start terms for the IDS program. We are still accepting applications for the summer 26 entry term. For starting in May of 26, the priority deadline is just around the corner on the 1st of March. That's next week. And the final deadline will be March the 15th. For starting in fall, August 2026, the priority deadline will be July 1st, and the final deadline being July the 15th. And lastly, for the spring 2027 term, starting in January, the priority deadline will be November the 1st, with a final deadline of November the 15th. And the difference to note between priority and final deadlines is simply just having the opportunity to have your application read earlier than those who submit by the final deadline. Lastly, what's next? We want to stay in touch with you. I'm pleased to be the admissions counselor for this program. If you have any questions whatsoever, please do not hesitate to reach out. You're welcome to take a picture of this slide as well. This is the phone number and the email for our admissions team. They'd be happy to direct you my way. We really want to be able to answer any questions that you have over the application process.